So I saw this video by your man, Rick Beato, called Why Do These 16 Classic Songs Have Over 1 Billion Spotify Plays? And he went through a list of songs that were like 30 years old with like Queen and Nirvana, Journey and Fleetwood Mac, stuff like that, that somehow or another has remained relevant for over like 30 years. And I thought, well, that's pretty interesting. But what about sort of the flip side of that? What about newer songs that have over 1 billion Spotify plays? Specifically, you know, there's this idea that rock is dead, right? And I've said the same thing many times. I've said that rock is dead. And after I looked at this list, I was like, you know what? I don't think that's true. I think I was wrong about that. I think actually rock and I guess alternative music in general is actually as strong as it's been in a really long time. When I looked at this list, I said, actually, rock and alternative culture are as relevant as they have been probably since like the days of Mall Screamo, like My Chemical Romance and Paramore and, you know, Panic at the Disco, all that kind of stuff. I want to go through this list and show you what I mean. And the real kind of takeaway that I want from this is that I feel like rock fans and alternative music fans in general are sort of like telling themselves that this stuff isn't popular anymore. They're lamenting like, oh, rock isn't popular anymore. What happened to real music? But if you look at this, what I want you to see is that this stuff is alive and well. And what I want us all to do here is claim our wins, claim the wins, right? Because like, if you want your culture to be relevant, you should be happy to see all these artists on this chart putting up billions and billions of streams. So let's take a look at this. If you expand your definition a little bit, meaning rock doesn't just mean stuff that sounds like Crossfade and Linkin Park and whatever else that you grew up on 20 years ago. If you broaden your definition a little bit, I think what you will see is that there are actually quite a few alternative / rock artists putting up some serious numbers. So let's take a look. And we can listen to some of these and see what we think. And really quick, before we go any further, have you checked out my Patreon? Patrons get early access to all my main channel videos and my podcasts. I also do giveaways sometimes. For example, I just gave away a pair of these Eargasm earplugs. And if you want me to review your music, there's a way to do that as well. All you gotta do is join at the $10 and up level. Then every month I do a call for submissions. If you want me to review something, all you gotta do is drop it in the comments of that post. Then I will review it live on Twitch and post it on Patreon for everyone to see. So if that sounds cool, hit the link in the description of this video, and I appreciate your support. The first one that came to mind here is Olivia Rodrigo, and she has actually several songs on this list. Good For You is her most popular one, is the #1 song in here, but off this album, there's Good For You, there's Deja Vu, there's Traitor, and Driver's License is on here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. So there are 335 songs that have over 1 billion plays. She has 4 of them, meaning that Olivia Rodrigo alone is over 1% of this whole playlist. That is how popular she is. Now, the jury is out. Do we know if she will, you know, be able to like keep this momentum going? You know, who knows? We don't know that. But either way, Olivia Rodrigo alone as one person is 1% of this entire list. And I think Queen has like 4 or 5 songs on this list. So like the point is that Olivia Rodrigo with her debut album, she's like 20 years old, has as many songs on this list as Queen does. That's got to count for something. And for those of you, you know, a lot of people say that she is not a rock artist. I don't really know how you could listen to this and think of it as anything other than an alternative rock song. I mean, listen to this. Clearly, it's a rock song, right? This sounds like any number of different artists that I could have heard. They would have played this on 120 Minutes on MTV back in the day. Good For You is an alternative song. Now, other songs on the album aren't. Well, let's listen to this. Tell me this isn't rock. This sounds like it could have been on like Kill Rock Stars or something back in the 90s, right? This is a rock song. Obviously, it's not Slipknot, right? It's not Suicide Silence. Obviously, this is the more accessible side of rock, but this is a rock song. If they showed instruments in the video, people would accept it more. Yeah, but you got to get over that. I mean, the idea, like, rock fans are so hung up on the idea of, like, if I don't see the guitar, then like, guys, you got to get over that. You don't have to like it. It's totally fine if you don't. But my point is, if you're a rock fan and you care about sort of the health of rock as a genre, you should be very happy about this. I've talked about this a million times. Olivia Rodrigo alone, 1% of this playlist. That is how important she is. Another artist, Black Bear. This song, Hot Girl Bummer, is, I would call this kind of a pop song. But Black Bear in general, his new album, is straight up pop punk. For example, he has this song with Newfound Glory. His whole new album is straight up 2002 pop punk. Again, whether you like it or not, super popular. Black Bear is a clout demon. My point is not necessarily that you should or shouldn't like any of this. I personally think Black Bear is super talented. I think he's great. But whether you like it or not is sort of secondary. My point is, like, if the sort of the narrative is that rock isn't in the mainstream anymore and the industry doesn't care about rock, and like, there's this sort of idea among rock fans that the industry has pushed them out or something like that. But what I want to say by looking at this playlist is there are actually a lot of new rock and rock adjacent artists putting up billions and billions of streams. So we should be excited about that. Whether you like it or not, like, you should be excited about it. We should be happy that rock is actually doing really well. It's doing great. Black Bear is another example of that. Demi Lovato, again, you might think of her as not a rock artist, but we've listened to her new album before here on stream. Her new album is fucking great. Fantastic pop punk album. It's a great song. And, whether you like it or not, again, Demi Lovato, another artist, she is a certified pop star. She is like probably the next notch down from, a Taylor Swift or whatever. She is famous as fuck. She's been famous as fuck for like 15 years, super talented. And this album is great. She's got a song with over 1 billion plays. So another example of one of these rock artists or rock adjacent artists that's putting up big numbers. I think the main difference is a single named artist versus a band. I don't feel like bands are popular, but individual artists are, because people start to get obsessed with that single person. Well, that's kind of true. But again, I think that's another one of these things that rock fans just need to get over. Singles, it's a world in which singles matter more than albums and individuals matter more than bands. You can like that or not like it, but that's just sort of the world we live in now. I would say, like, it just is what it is. Like, there's no reason to be upset about it. And I feel like rock fans just have this very rigid definition of, like, what they expect things to be. Like, if it doesn't have a bunch of white guys playing guitars in the video and it doesn't sound exactly like 2002 and, it's not a whole band, then it's not rock, and they get mad about it. The point I'm trying to make here, again, is that there are a lot of artists on this list who are rock or rock adjacent. I'm saying, as a community of rock fans, let's claim them as part of us. Like, wouldn't you want that? I'm trying to say that your team is winning right now. These are all artists who love the same stuff you do. Like Black Bear, Demi Lovato, Olivia Rodrigo, those people like the same stuff as you do. And I mean, like, death metal. Demi Lovato loves Job for a Cowboy and Winds of Plague and shit. Like, Demi Lovato's into metal. She likes the same shit. She likes Dimmu Borgir. She likes the same shit as you. Trust me. Your people are winning. And I want you to be excited about that. Your team is winning, so be excited about it. I agree with this. It's not rock unless MGK is involved. That's right. MGK, the king of rock. Everybody from Kiss to Metallica to Whitechapel has named MGK as their #1 influence. This list is bullshit without the king of rock. Another name I was surprised to see on here was 5 Seconds of Summer. I think their new stuff is terrible. To me, it is the most bland, awful, like, generic Macy's pop of all time. Like, 5 Seconds of Summer, their new stuff makes Chainsmokers seem edgy. This song, this is the one that has over 1 billion plays. Hate the song. With that being said, do you guys remember this song? Their beginning was this. Straight up pop punk, right? I'm not going to be the one here to like vouch for the credibility of 5 Seconds of Summer or tell you that they're a great band. But again, it is an example of one of these rock adjacent artists putting out billions of streams. I think that's something to be excited about. Their big influence, they said, was all-time low. Exactly. So just another example of an alternative or, rock adjacent artist putting up numbers. Let's be excited about it. What else did I see in here? Halsey, another one of these artists where, you might think of her as just a pop girl, but in reality, she likes all the same stuff that you do. For example, you may remember she did this song with Bring Me the Horizon. So there you go. I mean, pop girl who cusses. Yes. One of the main pop girls. I'm not going to say that this is my favorite song of theirs or hers, but she is super talented. And again, my point here is there is somebody in the billion stream club who did a song with Bring Me the Horizon. Like, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. We should be excited about this, right? She is super talented, super relevant. She is mainstream famous, and she's doing songs with Bring Me the Horizon. She's in the billion stream club. Like her or not, we should be excited to see this kind of thing. What else do we have here? Post Malone. I'll call him rock-ish adjacent. He did the song with Ozzy and stuff. So does he count as rock adjacent? That's up to you guys. Who knows? Juice WRLD has a couple songs. Obviously, Juice WRLD, unfortunately, no longer with us. He is another one of these people who I think maybe at first people thought he was like just a rapper. And I mean, he was a rapper, but had a lot of influences. Like, I know he was into like All Time Low and stuff like that, and you can totally hear it, right? This could totally be a pop punk song, just with different drums. Great song, and obviously he's no longer with us, which is unfortunate, but he has, I think 2 songs. Yeah, this and Lucid Dreams are both over 1 billion streams. So yet another person that I think we should claim as one of our own, because he was, right? Also, High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. Not the best Panic song by any means, but, it is one of the gods of 2000s emo, over 1 billion streams. And he did a song with Taylor Swift, So someone that, whether you like his music or not, you should claim it as a win. Got Nirvana, obviously that's not new. Marshmello, he did songs with The Day to Remember, and I feel like he did another one that I'm not thinking of. Feels like he kind of like, I don't want to say fell off, but we haven't heard from him in a while. Regardless, I'll call him sort of, on the very periphery, no pun intended, of rock. 21 Pilots, they have 2 songs on here. Heathens and Stressed Out. Made Fueled by Ramen, all kinds of money. I love this song. What a fucking hook. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio. Beartooth, Attack Attack, 21 Pilots, The Color Morale, City Lights, so many bands from Columbus, including 21 Pilots. They may not be quite as hot as they were back when this came out in 2014 or whatever it is, but they're still doing it. They're still out there playing big shows and stuff. Got 2 songs over 1 billion streams. And there's no question. I mean, even though they don't have like, guitars and stuff really, no question that these guys are, an alternative rock band, basically. Great band. Somebody else pointed out Måneskin. I missed it, and I always forget about them. That is another great example. I do not like Måneskin because, I don't know, they're just weird European music to me. But got to give them credit where it's due. For a European band to get as big as they have in America is not easy to do. Here we go. 21 million views in 2 months. That's great for a new rock band. And they've only been a band for what, since like 2017 or something? I'm not into it personally. Kind of boring to me. It's not for me, but I think it's awesome to see any young rock band get this big this fast. And you don't really hear too many people talk about them. Another one of these bands, like, we should claim them. Yes, they're kind of corny European stuff, and they're not exactly like alternative. It's kind of almost more in the same sort of bucket as Greta Van Fleet, sort of like guys in their 20s playing dad rock to me. But nonetheless, they're doing it, and we should be excited for them. Lil Uzi Vert has just this song, XO Tour Life. I would call this a modern day classic. 5 years ago, this is a modern day classic in my opinion. Amazing chorus, great song. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. He's talked many times about being influenced by bands like Marilyn Manson and Escape the Fate and stuff like that. Again, I would say we should be claiming him as one of our own. Obviously, he's, kind of more on the rap side of things, but we should by all means be claiming him as one of our own. Like, we should be saying, look, shout out to Lil Uzi Vert for, passing 1 billion streams. He is one of ours. We're excited for him. That's what I think. And again, we've got to get out of this sort of like narrow definition of what we will accept as part of the culture, right? Like, he's not standing up there with a guitar. He doesn't have a backing band, but he's clearly part of the culture. That's right. And I forgot about this. You remember a couple years ago, he went to that Lorna Shore and the Faceless show. Like, you don't go see Lorna Shore and the Faceless if you're a tourist, right? I mean, he seems like a weird dude, but he's about the culture. So we should by all means be taking some credit for that. Take a victory lap. Exactly. We claim them all and make rock big again. That is what I'm trying to say here. Claim all these people, claim their wins, and make rock big again, because it is big again. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like, look how many rock and rock adjacent songs have over 1 billion streams. The idea, I was wrong. I thought that rock was dead. It's not dead at all. It's alive and well. It just doesn't look and sound exactly like what it looked and sounded like 20 years ago. Exactly. It's just a new version of rock now. Exactly. That's all it is. It's just a new version of rock. Last one I found on here, which I was kind of surprised by this, but I guess also not. Kind of on the emo rap side of things is several songs by XXXTentacion. We've got Look at Me, Hope, Sad is on here as well. I think he has like 3 or 4 songs that are over the 1 billion streams. And again, for anybody who may not be familiar, who may think of him as just a rapper, what you should know is he's done pretty much everything from emo rap to just like straight up rap to trap metal. He's got 5 songs in there. Okay. He's done all kinds of stuff. Definitely a troubled guy. I'm not going to say that XXXTentacion is like a great guy, but he was super talented, and he has 5 songs on this list. And for anybody who thinks that he is not part of rock culture or wasn't influenced by rock, here is a song. This is Craig Zen and XXXTentacion. This song is called Crucify Thy Infant, Son of Whore. Listen to this song and tell me that X is not rock. Got this blast beat here. This is like some nasty, like basement hipster black metal. How can you listen to this and question the man's rock credibility, right? I mean, listen to this part. No, this isn't Cold Chamber. This sounds more like Harm's Way than Cold Chamber, right? Like, this band could play with Harm's Way and nobody would think anything of it, right? There's probably a couple other examples that I may have missed. But the point is, if you thought, like me, that rock was dead, that none of this stuff had any mainstream currency, that's not true. Rock is alive and well, as you can see here from the fact that of the 335 songs in the Billions Club playlist, which is every song with over 1 billion streams on Spotify, of the 335 of them, like maybe 20 of them are like, rock or rock adjacent. And what I would like everyone to take away from this video is the fact that rock is not dead. It is doing great. It's doing better than ever, better than it has been in at least like 10 years. And so my point is, claim your wins, be excited about this. You don't have to like all of it. That's okay. If you don't like any of this, that is totally okay. But be excited about the fact that there are new rock and rock adjacent artists who are on this list. Accept them, claim them as part of the culture. And as I've talked about before, the Olivia Rodrigo to Infant Annihilator pipeline is real. There is some kid that got into music because of Olivia Rodrigo last year that is going to be getting into Infant Annihilator next year. That's just the way it works. Just the same as for all of you, you got into whatever, Panic at the Disco in 2005, and then you ended up listening to Deeds of Flesh a couple years later. That's how it works. So be excited for all this. I think it's awesome. Welcome aboard to all the new members of the rock and metal world. As the official president of Metalcore, I welcome you with open arms. And that is all you need to know.